Our interview today is with Mary Grosserode with Clare Senior Advisors, and I'm going to let her tell her story on how she can help you through the process of finding a community. So, Mary, thank you for joining us today, and just wanted to kind of maybe give us a little bit of information about you, how long you've been doing what you're doing, and kind of what you can do to help. And I've got some questions kind of that I'm going to ask you as we go along.
Thank you, Gary. Thank you for inviting me to this. So as Gary mentioned, I'm with Clare Senior Advisors. I've been with Clare Senior Advisors for 4 years. What I do is I help seniors find the right retirement community. I'm an independent agent representing all the retirement communities in the Omaha area. Before that, for 17 years, I worked at various retirement communities as their senior living consultant, working with people transitioning from their current lifestyle, usually in a house, to a retirement community. Absolutely love what I do. I look forward to our interview today, Gary.
Well, that's awesome. Thank you for giving us that tidbit of information about yourself. So one of the things I think that comes to mind when people are thinking retirement communities is the expense. And, you know, a lot of people, they say on the senior side, want to stay in their own home. So how does one try to navigate? And first of all, let's kind of dive in. You know, what are the expenses? Are the expenses, you know, broad between different facilities and that type of thing?
My experience is people think of it as being expensive. They don't even want to look. They hear they're expensive. And my experience is the reason we feel it's expensive is maybe we have not looked at the right community, or maybe we are misinformed on the cost and services. They range. If you were looking at an independent living apartment, the range in cost could start at $1,615 and go up to over $6,000. Then there's assisted living, which is a little more expensive. And then there's memory care communities, which is more expensive yet. But there's ways to pay for the cost. Do you have a long-term care insurance policy? This may cover the major cost of assisted living. Or were you ever in the service and served our country during a war period? You may be eligible for aid and attendance benefits. But that's my job, to share with you the cost of the community and to find one that's affordable for you.
Okay. Well, that's good. So you're saying, so the kind of the difference between when somebody's looking for a community, you're essentially looking for 3 different types of communities, right? So there's the I'm still healthy, I still drive my own car, I'm still pretty independent. So there's the independent community. And then there's the second type of community where would be more of an assisted community, which kind of ranges from all kinds of things. And then there's memory care.
Correct.
So if I'm looking for my parents, or if I'm looking for myself and I'm kind of doing the research on this, are there facilities where they're just independent living, or they have all 3, or how does that work?
Good question, Gary. There are some standalone independent living communities. So I say independent is like your current lifestyle now. Whereas Gary mentioned, you're independent, you still drive, you may still cook. Doesn't mean you like it, but you're independent. And there are some communities that offer all 3, independent living, assisted living, and memory care. Vice versa, there's some that are just assisted living and some that are just memory care. There's a lot of choices for you in the Omaha area market.
Okay. So let me ask you this question. So when it comes to kind of the facilities that are out there, obviously we got expense, right? And are the expenses, do they range in, like, is there a big swing depending upon what assisted living or independent living facility that we choose?
Correct. There's a big swing in square footage as well as rates. You can get a studio possibly for about 350 square feet, and that's the one that's going to be most affordable. Assisted living can go as small as 288 square feet, and that may start at a base rate of about $2,500. But in assisted living, you're going to receive more services to keep you independent. Independent living is going to have your apartment, usually 2 meals a day, housekeeping every other week, transportation to medical appointments, scheduled shopping trips, and activities. As I often say, they're going to cook and clean for you. Why wouldn't you want to move? In an assisted living, now you're going to have some services to keep you independent. Maybe you're not able to manage your medications anymore. You've got your pill box, but there's so many. Sometimes we don't see the pills. We drop them. We can't find them. Maybe we need more help with taking a shower, just someone in the apartment so we're not alone. Or we need help with our housekeeping. We just can't vacuum or dust like we used to, or change our bed. These services are offered to you and included in assisted living. And now you're going to have 3 meals a day. I jokingly say, How many of you are having dinner with Pat Sajak and Vanna White? My dad did. I'm starting to. We're independent or assisted or memory support. You're going to a dining room. You're going to be ordering off of a menu. You're going to be sitting with someone you can talk to. That's one of the benefits of living in senior living, as well as the socialization with other people your age.
As they age. So the way that I kind of understand your position with Claire is that you're kind of like a real estate agent for senior communities. Does it cost me money to use you to find these facilities?
Good question again, Gary. No cost for you. How I get paid is, should you choose one of the retirement communities we're looking at, we bill them and then they pay us. So there's no risk. You're meeting with someone who has knowledge and experience of your options out there. Why wouldn't you want to use someone like me?
So if I'm now thinking, what is the biggest reason why I should be thinking, even though I know I don't want to move into one, but what is the benefit of me starting to look now?
Gosh, the benefit is the decisions in your hands. One of the retirement communities I worked at years ago, the lady came up to me and she goes, if I don't look now, my kids will look for me. And then they're going to have the dumpster in the driveway, choose the community that they think I want to live in, and bring what they think I need. In that case, you've lost that decision process. I believe, I have this little model I preach frequently: look before you have to and move before you need to, because then it's your decision.
Well, I like that motto. That seems like we've kind of covered everything that I have questions on. Is there anything that you'd want to add in closing?
I'd like to explain a little bit about what it would be if you and I got involved, if you wanted to work with me. The process starts I like to start with a conversation. Just before you and I got in our interview, I had a phone call from a sibling looking for her brother. And sure, I can take the information on the phone, but I don't have a feel for his personality. I like to sit down with my clients, learn what their medical needs are, but also what do they like to do. So many times I've had clients say, I used to play bridge. I used to do this. And when I ask them why they don't do it anymore, it's because maybe they've lost the ability to drive, so they can't go out with their friends, or their friends have lost the ability to drive. When they move into a retirement community, they're going to find somebody else who used to play bridge, and they get to pick up that lifestyle again. So I like to learn what their social interests are, and then also how much they can afford, because there are a multitude of retirement communities in Omaha. Just alone, there's independent living, there's over 31 retirement communities, and assisted living, there's over 44. So when I do my research with you, find out what your medical needs are, your social interests, and how much you can afford, then I take that information, do the research, and find the right communities within your parameters, set up tours, and you and I go on the tours together. And I help you make this decision just by asking more questions when they're in the retirement community. You have an advocate when you're working with me.
Well, that's good news. I like that. Mary, thank you so much. I'm excited to go down this avenue of senior planning workshop that we're gonna start to kick off. If anybody out there that's listening to this video is wanting additional information, they can either call Mary. Her information is on the screen here at 402-670-3922, or you could give me a call at 402-680-7000. You can also go to Omaha Senior Planning Workshop.com, where you can register to come to our live workshops that we hold on Wednesday evenings. So, and you can get all the details of where it is, when it is, what time it is, and all that type of stuff. So, Mary, again, thank you so much for jumping on here and meeting with me and answering some of those important questions that I think most of our viewers will have.